So
Okay, hi, welcome again to Kim in Korea. And this video is about why and how I ended up teaching overseas in Korea.
But anyway,
basically at the end of 2013, I realized I was coming upon my 10-year anniversary working for the school district as a math teacher in high school. And I could not believe I had been working there for 10 years, about to be 10 years. And so I really wanted to do something different to commemorate that 10-year anniversary. I'd already been to more than one school in the district, so it wasn't about moving to another school. It wasn't about moving into another role. I just wanted to do something different. And I had thought about living overseas, but I never really put any thought to it. Well, a former colleague of mine who was living overseas contacted me about a job opening in his school, and he contacted me in November of 2013. And so I said, well, let me just go ahead and apply. So I went ahead and applied in December. I didn't hear anything. And they said that's normal because that's, winter break and all basically my understanding. So I didn't think anything of it. But then in January, our district, advertised this early notification process that if you let them know in January that you weren't coming back in August, they would give you money to let them know in advance. And so I went ahead and took the plunge, even though I didn't have a job offer yet, which let the district and my principal know that I was not coming back to the district for the State Department. So that was in January, and then in February I found out that the job position at the other school, that kind of had fallen through. So now I let the district know I wasn't coming back, but I did not have a
basically attaches a piece of paper to it.
So of course I share everything. I don't care. I mean, I can't hold water when it pertains to my life. So I was telling my friends about this and co-workers and colleagues, and one person sent me to this website called the International Educator
Background Check, and that
online.
involves pretty much the same.
And here's that website. And what they said
check,
was,
you
can it's for job seekers who want to seek, who are looking for jobs overseas teaching.
Now the
and it's
actual
also for
FBI
schools and
background
employers
check
to go and look for these
said
people.
and they suggest you do that first.
And so on
But,
March
I
6th,
also found out about
I
this
had a
thing
layover
called
in the
FBI
airport, a
channelers,
long
which
layover,
is
and I said, well, let me go ahead and register for TIE online. So when you register for TIE online, they offer you to basically upload your profile, upload your resume, upload your letters of recommendation, do a little video about yourself, all of that stuff. Cover letter, personal statement, if you, everything. Of course. So I did that while I had this extremely long layover on March 6th. And then they also allow you to search for vacancies. And then they allow you for extra amount of money, I think, to contact the people through the website. But you can also visit the website of the school that has a vacancy and email them directly. So I did that because I'm looking now towards the Middle East, and by that weekend, by the 10th, I had 3 schools contacted me to further the application process, and only one of the schools had I actually, was it one? Maybe none of the schools I actually,
passport copy was easy.
Sent
The birth certificate was easy for me because I
so anyway, the schools that had contacted me, I went through the application, the application process, then I went through the Skype interview process for all 3, and there were 2 sets of Skype interviews for all 3. You spoke being a headmaster and a teacher there, or dean of instruction, whatever the deal may be. And by the 17th, 20th, I had 3 job offers from them all, and I had to make a decision. And so the decision that I made was to move to South Korea. So I sent in the contract in March. So basically, it took a month from when I registered, under a month from when I registered online, to actually getting a job offer and a contract. Now, I don't know if that happens normally. I don't know if it was just, God's perfect plan. I don't know if it was just perfect timing, because my friend had told me that schools usually finish their international hiring by February, and maybe because I was included, and then they put available in March. That was maybe why that happened, or maybe because I was teaching math and maybe it's difficult to get math teachers. I don't know what the deal was, but I do thank God that I had the opportunity to receive 3 job offers within basically a 20-day period, less than 3 day period from college. So I'm thankful for that. So that's how I ended up.
My parents had my
South Korea.
and so my parents went and got it, a copy of it notarized.
and then they sent it to me, and I sent it off to the State Department. But then the State Department sent it back to me because the notary didn't indicate that she notarized this in front of the person whose diploma it was. So I sent it back to my parents, and they went to the notary, and the notary says, well, because they're not the people whose the diploma is for, that she could not provide that verification. So I would need to be present to be able to get that notarized. So basically I wasted 2.5 weeks on that process. And so I basically have to go physically get the original diploma and the copy, take it to a notary, and have them notarize it in my presence, and then I will send it right back off to the State Department, to Apostle. I know, a lot of work. So that's the plan. I haven't done that just yet because I just found out about this snafu. Plan B is I sent a copy of my diploma to my actual college and asked, I don't call her a friend, but hook up in the registrar's office, who said she would verify that the diploma copy is real and she would notarize it. So I sent her my diploma, as well as an envelope for her to send it to the Georgia State Department for them to Apostle, and that process is a little bit cheaper than in Texas. So got 2 irons in the fire, hoping, and one of them, plans A or B, is going to occur. So that was kind of long. Original state teaching certificate, I just went online in the state of Texas. You can type in a person's name and you can pull up their teaching state certificate. So I just made a copy of that. Sealed school transcripts, I already had one. FYI, whenever you graduate, make sure you request a whole bunch of official transcripts, a whole bunch of them. So when I graduated, I probably requested about 10, and now I'm down to like 3. So whenever you're applying for jobs or anything like that, they always want a transcript. So, but I already had some on hand. Resume was easy to print out. Immunization records, still working on that because I need to get that from my primary care physician, which I haven't seen in a while because my work insurance dropped that provider. So we'll see on that. Of course, I don't have a marriage license. I already talked about the background checks, and then now I'm working on the passport photos and the health checks, and that's it. So